Welcome to Knife Banter, and today we have over $21,000 in knives on the table.
This is in the insane ultimate collector piece. It's a lot of money.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to Knife Banter, and today we have over $21,000 in knives on the table.
Didn't even get to cross.
A lot of money.
A little bit of money. We're going to be looking at the most expensive knives that we have here at Blade HQ. And when I say knives, I use that term loosely. Really, these are like pieces of intricate craftsmanship and art. And then, at the end of this video, we're going to look at the $10,000 knife inside this box. So hold on. It's going to be a wild ride.
I'm excited for that.
All right, Kurt. You've done a little bit of research on this first one. What do you got going?
I sure have. This first knife on the table is a TIGHE automatic. This is the TIE Fighter, and there's a bunch of intricate stuff going on with this knife, guys. It's got titanium bronzed titanium handle. It's got the, make sure I get this right, it's got the Borka Blades grind on it. So I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that Borka Blades ground the blade and then sent it to Brian Ty, and he assembled it there.
Yeah, that's how I understand these type of collaborations work, is Borka does kind of the two-tone grind on it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's kind of a collaboration. And you guys will notice a lot of these knives on the table, it has like 4 or 5 names associated because they're pulling these experts from all these different fields.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think... right back here is one of my favorite parts. It's got this ceramic ball end on the titanium pocket clip, but just all around, I mean, look at the details in the lines, the back spacer. Look at this. I love those. What are those called? Proprietary screws?
Yeah, the proprietary screw.
I think those are cool.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of that on custom work as well. And one thing, my favorite thing about this knife, I think it's a beautiful piece, but my favorite thing about this knife is that it's called the TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter.
It's like, if your last name is Ty, right? If you're Brian Ty, it doesn't matter what you do in your life. You have to name something the TIE Fighter. And so, yeah, it's my favorite piece.
I was actually thinking that. I'm like, man, that guy's got a cool last name. But yeah, so this one, you can have this one on the website. We've got it for $1,950, but out the door, you can have it for $2,096.25.
Yeah, so after tax, that's about where you'd end up.
Yep.
So $2,065. So, I mean, it's not very expensive. Like, not a big deal. Like, you don't, whatever.
I mean, it's a couple cheeseburgers.
A couple cheeseburgers. All right, let's jump into this next one. So this next one is the Rockstead Psi, and it's just a beautiful piece all the way around. So you've got titanium handles here. You've got the that famous Rockstead. Sorry, guys. All these names,
I know.
This famous Rockstead.
All the different collaborations.
Exactly.
It gets confusing.
The Rockstead grind here, and it's got 2 convex grinds on it. It's called the Hans Curry style grind that Rockstead does on these.
You had a little bit of accent in there.
Yeah, Hans Curry.
I am Hans.
Hans Curry.
Anyways, some neat things about the Rockstead stuff is that this is like full-on hardcore precision stuff. They're based out of Japan. You might notice the coating on the handle here, how it kind of like has that color shift. So a lot of people think that this is like an anodization or something like that. It's actually DLC coated.
Really?
Yeah, which is really, really cool.
I've never seen one like that.
Yeah, so DLC coated on the handle here, and then a mirrored polish all the way to the edge of the blade. So this is something that Rockstead is super famous for, is not only their grinds, but how polished they get these knives. This particular style of grind that they do was put under like extensive testing on like 3 months of cardboard testing. And at the end, it was like still had a bit of an edge.
Really?
So it's pretty incredible what they're doing with the stuff over there at Rockstead.
I love this. It's like a topographical map.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. But just, I mean, think of the hours of milling going into that to make each little detail.
Yeah. Well, the hours of process in general, it's only 8 craftsmen that touch these knives. So it's just 8 dudes in the shop, and they're just like rolling through this whole thing. And they also do a DLC coating on the blade as well.
Okay.
So the blade also has that DLC coating, and DLC coating, if you don't know, it's basically like diamond-like carbon or diamond-like, so it's almost as hard as a diamond. Essentially, is the coating there. One other interesting thing about this knife, a lot of these knives, and I mentioned earlier, a lot of these knives, they're like art pieces.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys will buy customs because they're buying the maker.
Yep.
Right? So it really is like collecting art, or it's like collecting watches or pens or whatever. With the Rockstead, this thing's actually, it's made to use. Like, it's an expensive knife, but you could put this in your pocket and use it every day, and like you wouldn't have to feel bad. Like, this thing is a hardcore made to be used knife.
So, as I was doing my homework on some of these knives, what I was reading is it's a collector, but it's also everyday use.
Yeah. I think you'd be a little crazy to use it every day.
I don't think I would do it. But, I mean, for those people that can fork it out and then carry it every day,
yep,
that's
more power
that's
to
crazy.
them.
And what an amazing talking piece. Right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. You pull that out, and you never have to sharpen it.
Are you sure about that?
Well, almost never have to sharpen
Almost.
it. And this particular one, it also is $1,900 on the website. Out the door, it'd be just over $2,000. So a little bit of an expensive EDC piece, but it's rad.
That is crazy. The DLC that changes colors.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
really
a
neat.
cool
It's
one.
really neat. I was actually showing Jamie. You guys know Jamie, the camera guy. He's filming this right now. I was showing him, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that they did the anodization to it." And I was like, "Nope, that's DLC coated."
That's crazy.
So yeah, just a great knife all the way around. What else we got on the table?
All right, this one is one of my favorites that I've ever seen. This is a Begg knife. This is made by Todd Begg. It's a BODEGA knife. And this one in particular is called The Hunt. And if you look right here, it's got stainless steel handles. But if you look right here, let me try to turn that so you guys can see. That's hand engraved.
That's hand engraved?
Hand engraved.
I thought that was laser engraved, bro.
Look at the finish.
Holy
I mean,
moly.
especially the details on the feathers and the dog.
Yeah,
Hand engraved.
that's crazy.
And where you're talking about, you pay for the craftsmanship, you pay for the art piece. That is literally art.
That's a literal work of art. And it's the one thing that I love about all of these knives is it's the type of art that it's a trade, right? So it's like I come from the trades, and so for me it's like I love the idea that it's a trade that people apprentice and learn and become journeymen and become masters at.
Yeah.
Right? And then they create something like this. Whereas with painting, it's a style of trade, right? Like that type of art. But it's just different. Like it's not as it's just a different thing,
Absolutely.
right? Like I see a guy in a shop just like with a vise making something cool like this.
So another thing with these knives is they actually, when you purchase them, they actually want you to go online and register the knife.
Oh, well, why wouldn't you though?
I know. Well, I mean, a piece like this, I would hope that I have some kind of, fallback plan on, and well, not only that, but I feel like as an owner, it adds to that collectability to say I am an elite member.
Yeah.
I have this knife registered as a Begg knife.
It's even like people who like fancy dogs, right? It's like, little Fluffy here is papered.
I'm sweating more than a non-legacy applying to Yale.
Right? Like, this is your papered Fluffy, right? Like,
Exactly. I like that. So let's see what else we got on this thing. We've got the ceramic ball end on the titanium clip. Now this titanium, there's little bits of it here. Now this texture, I could be wrong, but I think they do a jeweled finish on this titanium.
Oh, wow.
And that's that little shimmer in there. It's also in the back spacer and right here in the collar. I think it's called a collar. Correct me if I'm wrong. Collar around the pivot. It's just amazing. The time and effort that goes into these blows my mind.
what's something like this going for? What's the price on this thing?
On the website, you can get it for $2,950 or out the door with the cost of $3,171.25.
So stepping up a little bit, right? We went from the
slowly
2,000
climbing.
realm to that 3,000 realm, right?
It's slowly climbing.
You look at these other two we have here. These are two knives that like I could see, not for the price because like I don't got that type of change laying around, but I could see somebody carrying, right? But
Yeah.
you step into something like this, I would never carry this, right? Like this would full on sit on a shelf.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
I mean, can you just imagine scratching that
no,
hand-carved
no,
of that hunting in the pheasant? Dude?
no. So we
I would
can't.
be devastated. I would be crushed.
It would be horrible. So we can't talk about customs though without talking about Marfione customs. And so we have Marfione Strider custom here on the table, and this again, right? Like incredible inset here with the engraving. It's got that I forget the name of the grind. It is the Juyo grind. Now the Juyo polish.
Okay.
Now, what that comes from is it actually comes from an organization that is in charge of like verifying ancient Japanese swords. So Juyo actually means award. So like
that's
this is
cool.
basically like an award polish is what it is. And so you guys will notice that you can see there's kind of this distinguishing mark in the blade. And that's I think to represent with an ancient Japanese sword, it has like all this wear to it. And so the polish is supposed to show the wear. So anyways, there's kind of this whole heritage built into that.
Can I see this thing?
Yeah, it's really neat. And then the koi engraving here is done by Jody Mueller, and you know when we're talking about journeyman craftsman, that type of thing, he's a journeyman engraver, and just great all the way around. And then you got that again, the ceramic bearing in the pocket clip. Now the ceramic bearing is something that you see a lot in customs, like we're seeing here.
Yeah.
It's also something I see sneaking into the knife world, like the lower knife world is where kind of the user knife world.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. There was some stuff at SHOT Show this year that caught my eye that had that same ceramic ball on it.
That koi piece.
It's really neat. All hand
That is
engraved.
So cool.
And when we're talking about hand engraved, it's something that, some of these pieces take weeks, right? Like 40, 50, 60 hours, right? To do a single piece of this engraving. I mean, this one here, I would imagine this took a minute to engrave, right?
I'm sure. There's hours spent. What is this called on the blade where it has this wave in it? It's like, I know they do the same treatment on some samurai swords.
That's the part of the polish.
Oh, okay.
That's just part of the polish. Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
and like you said, you're exactly right because it is a Japanese heritage type thing.
That's really cool.
So anyways, kind of a neat collaboration between Strider and Marfione. And to my knowledge, this particular one, this was a Strider design and then executed by Marfione.
Okay.
So Marfione did everything that you see here.
That's awesome.
And then a Strider design. So really neat all the way around. Out the door, this thing, after taxes, this thing will hit you at $3,400. So stepping it up a little bit. All right. Now we're getting ready to jump into this $10,000 knife. But we need to be ready for it.
we need to prepare. We need to properly prepare.
Because I don't know about you, but like I'm not trying to like touch a $10,000 knife and get some oils on it.
Yeah. I don't wanna mess this one up. Let's see if these gloves will fit my monkey hands.
Hands.
I think I've got it.
It'll be like that time I tried to put gloves on and they totally didn't fit.
Yeah.
All right, so this, guys, is the Protech NEWPORT Diamond Ultimate Custom Knife.
That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful. We're just gonna enjoy, I'm not even gonna open it just yet. We're just gonna enjoy the engraving here.
Man, that is so wild.
It is so awesome. So the engraving here was done by, I'm trying to remember who did the exact engraving. It was Mitchell Lerth on this.
That's crazy.
So there's 5. I have to read the paper, guys. There's no way I'm going to get all this right. There's just so much intricacies to this.
Well, and so many people collaborate on these. It's hard to keep all the names straight.
So there's 5 Grunberger ideal cut diamonds that are inlaid into this piece here. And those diamonds are cut at such a precision that they're cut at 0.0025 millimeter of tolerance. So when they cut the diamond, it's within 0.0025 millimeter of the space that it's supposed to fit. So to give you reference there, because that doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Pull a hair out of your head and look at how thin that is. That's 0.8 millimeters. And the tolerances on these diamonds are 0.0025.
That's crazy.
Kind of cool. So let's open this thing up.
So from what I've read and understood about this knife, Takori is a jewel company that makes high-end engagement rings and jewelry, and they're the ones that did the inlay on the button.
For the button, yeah. So they source diamonds from Two places, two diamond companies.
Two places. Multiple jewelers have worked on these knives.
Yeah.
And man, this one is just insane.
Just insane.
So I did a little research on Chad Nichols, and basically what it comes down to is if you want a pattern of Damascus, he can make it. He is basically the wizard.
I think that when you're talking about this style of blade or this style of metal, hands down, he is the expert. He is the pro. He's the go-to, especially for a knife at this level.
He knows what he's doing.
Exactly. So overall, just an incredible piece.
Can I see this thing?
Yeah. And here's the best part about it. I don't know how many of you guys out there have handled custom knives, but we've mentioned that they're kind of art pieces. We've mentioned that a lot of times you're buying the maker. And so, for example, we had the Knife Nuts guys on a video a while ago, and they mentioned that they have knives they don't really like, but they own because they like the maker. So you're buying the maker just as much as you're buying the knife.
Yeah.
So with something like this, one, we know Dave. Dave's a great guy.
Dave's a stud.
So if you're buying the maker of Protech, Dave's an amazing guy. But even more importantly, sometimes those custom knives are a little crunchy. They really are a little crunchy because they are art pieces. This knife fires just like a Protech with all of this insaneness to it. It's still a Protech. You know what I mean? It's still a Protech.
It's got that pop.
Exactly. And this is these are numbered. There are only 10 of these made, and this is number 4 of 10.
Number 4.
So we have number 4 of 10 at Blade HQ. Out the door, I don't know what it is out the door, but we're selling it for, was it $98?
Wrong.
$100. So out the door is just over 10 grand.
Just over 10.
So out the door, just over 10 grand for this amazing Newport here. And this knife was actually by Blade Magazine. It was called the Knife Collector of the Knife. It was Knife Collector's Knife of the Year.
Wrong again.
And the winner of the Blade Magazine Investor Collector Knife of the Year is Protech.
2018.
Yeah, that's right.
So amazing all the way around.
That's just crazy. I have never seen diamonds in a knife.
Yeah, like full-on diamonds. And the thing that blows my mind, like I said, like the tolerance is nuts, right?
That's crazy.
So here's the real question, Kurt. Which one of these knives? Which one of these knives? We can't look at all these knives and not dream about which one of these knives would you take home?
Okay. For me, I'm gonna rule this one out because this is an obvious choice.
Okay.
This is in the insane ultimate collector
Right.
piece.
You'd be foolish not to choose this knife.
Exactly.
Okay, I got you.
But if I were to choose one of these 4, I would go with the Begg.
Go with the Begg, huh?
Yeah, that intricate hand engraved with the bird dog and the pheasants.
It's pretty incredible.
I dig that.
That's way incredible.
I really love it.
Honestly, dude, I'd have to go with this Rockstead.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I just because like I could justify it still being a user.
Yeah.
Because it's made. I mean, it's a beautiful piece, right?
It really is.
And it's a ton of effort, a ton of craftsmanship. But at the end of the day, like this knife is a freaking workhorse, right? With the way the grind is done, with the way they put all the finishes on it. So I think I'd have to go with the Rockstead.
It's a great one, guys. Jump on the site, check these out. If it's your thing, you know where to get them. You know where to get them.
At minimum, just put one in your wish list, because why not? It's just fun.
Right?
It's just
Right.
fun. And let us know down in the comments, which one would you guys take home? Because I'm interested to know, we're going to poll you guys and see which one you guys would want to take home.
I want to see that.
Because there's a lot of good choices on the table. A lot of good choices.
Great choices. They're crazy.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for following along, and we'll see you next time around. Yeah, Borka blades, but it's got a Borka grind on it.
Did they grind it or
So Borka grind is this hand done grind.
Perfect. See, that's what you need. That's what you need. There we go. There we go.
Did Borka do it?
Ow.
Ow.
That was really. Don't clap in his ear on purpose.
You clap way louder than me.
Yeah, that was a really loud clap. It hurt my ear.
Okay.